testament was just as powerful. By the same token, some buildings confounded expectations. When I visited Cambridge Military Hospital in Aldershot, I had already dissected the rich and significant history of the Royal London Hospital in London's East End. I had expected the military hospital's background to be comparable, one of pioneering medical work with an emphasis, in this case, on the peculiar challenges posed by battle injuries. Only up to a point was this true. Beyond, I discovered a story that teeters on the edge of the credible. I found the building-based approach genuinely liberating. Sleuthing around the dusty corners of atmospheric old places gave full rein to my sense of curiosity, while drawing on a natural skepticism that I developed as a history undergraduate. It's an important quality for an historian to ask oneself, how do I know this? Who told me? How did it pass down through the years or the generations? What is the foundation for this piece of knowledge? For a politician to be overburdened with skepticism, by the way, is not necessarily a good thing. Too often you are required to express a remarkable degree of enthusiasm for a new policy, when your experience tells you that it's very unlikely to be the panacea that your party claims. This is why, in the end, broadcasting now suits me. I should point out, however, that I am no David Starkey or Simon Sharma. I'm not an academic, nor have I confined my interest to a particular era or aspect of history. I am a generalist who wishes to take the reader or viewer along with me on my explorations. And sometimes my initial instincts are wrong, or I am simply baffled by what I find. This is why, for the television series and book of Portillo's Hidden History of Britain, I arranged to meet people along the way who know more about each structure than I can ever know. In this way, the project has been as much a journey of discovery for me as I believe it will be for you. Some of these witnesses were experts on the ballistics of nuclear bombs, for example. Many were just ordinary people who were caught up in extraordinary events, such as the college leaver from Lancashire, pitched into the cloak-and-dagger world of the Cold War. One witness, with an incredible life story to tell, made more of an impression on me than just about anyone I have ever interviewed in my broadcasting career. All offered a perspective that was far more vivid than simply looking at a diagram or reading a passage in a book. I'm happy to acknowledge that in some cases this approach introduced a certain bias to my recording of history, because I was insistent on including, where possible, eyewitness accounts. I tended to concentrate on events that people are still alive to remember, which means, effectively, from the 1920s onwards. The oldest person I interviewed was 102. This is partly why the Second World War pops up in some surprising contexts. Nevertheless, that epic conflict has been central to the shaping of modern Britain. Our politics, our economy, our place in the world, our very character. And it is modern Britain, in the end, that is the subject of this book. In it, I attempt to illustrate how we have developed as a nation in certain key areas, which I divide into 4 sections. These are crime and emergency, which looks at prisons and the work of firefighters and first responders, life and death, on the evolution of healthcare and much more, defense of the realm, which examines top-secret installations and dramatizes the moment when the world stood on the brink of nuclear annihilation, and people's pleasure domes, about, essentially, how we entertain and distract ourselves. Throughout, I have tried to keep the building, the place itself, in the front of the picture. Many, such as the military hospital in Aldershot, deserve to be there simply as examples of bold, imposing design. The bizarre structures scattered across the shingled spit of Orford Ness, on the other hand, are by no stretch of the imagination beautiful. But they are haunting, puzzling, and they contribute to a landscape as otherworldly as any in Britain. Everywhere I visited was built with care and skill for a purpose that commands respect, and that applies most particularly to the site that represents hidden Britain in a literal sense, the sewers beneath Brighton. As already mentioned, several of the buildings were about to be rebuilt, and it was crucial that I gained access when I did. Hearteningly, one of them, the new Victoria Cinema in Bradford, is being returned to its original purpose as a cinema and entertainment centre. But most are being repurposed, most commonly as blocks of flats. This is not necessarily a fate I would have wished on them, but it is...